We have a jam-packed show today. I have so many submissions from you guys and I can't wait to show them to you. Honestly, there have been some of the most beautiful jars I have ever seen. So I just can't wait for you to see these. Welcome to Grow and Preserve. I'm Carter. I'm so glad you're here today. We are on to the first official week of the Every Bit Counts challenge that is put on by Jessica at Three Rivers Homestead. And these are submissions from you. These are not things that I have done. These are all the beautiful preservation projects that you have done. So if you'd like to have your preservation projects included in one of these videos, please email them to me. It's carter@growandpreserve.com. I need the best quality pictures you can send me and a brief description and the name you would like me to call you on camera. So whether that's just your first name or a screen name, doesn't matter to me. Just let me know. All right, let's get on with it today. We're going to jump into some preservation projects by Carrie. Carrie is the one who is responsible for the coronation chicken salad recipe that David and I have just followed head over heels for. So I'm guessing anything she makes is absolutely fantastic. So let's see what she's doing. She is a teacher, and so she is on summer break for at least another week, so she's trying to cram in as much preservation as she possibly can. And she's done a really good job so far. So you will see here that she has some barbecue pork. It was a hot pack, so she cooked it beforehand and then jarred it up and canned it. In this next picture here, she has some raw packed chicken and some raw packed pork shoulder. She's also done chicken broth and dried, oh, now watch this, dried tomatoes. So the small one, she then put in extra virgin olive oil, and the quart size were dried in Italian seasoning with nutritional yeast. Those both sound absolutely fantastic. She's also done dried soup vegetables and dried corn for the pantry, and strawberry jam. I love her little weck jars. I don't have any weck jars. I've never canned with a weck jar, but they are just so charming to me. So Carrie, thank you so much for sending in all those pictures. All right, so let's go look at Angie's stuff now. So when you clicked on this video, the thumbnail picture, that beautiful cabinet with all of the dried foods and herbs and things in it, that was Angie's. How much would you like to have a cabinet stocked like that, right? So that was Angie's. Let's see what else Angie has to say. She has a fabulous story. Let me just read you a little bit of this. She says, my passion for gardening and being more self-sufficient became a full-time, full-blown obsession. I made wise decisions, I paid off debt, I purchased garden supplies, expanded my flock. Today I have 3 4-by-20-foot raised beds, an 8-by-12-foot greenhouse, 7 dwarf fruit trees, 6 each blueberry, raspberry, and blackberry bushes, 50 strawberries, 8 grapevines, 2 elderberry bushes, 100 square feet of asparagus bed, and 12 laying hens. Holy smokes. That sounds wonderful. What a dream come true for Angie. So she goes on to say, living in the South, a large portion of my garden has already been processed. However, I've just started seedlings for fall and I'll be setting seeds for the greenhouse in the coming week. So far this year, I have harvested 63 pounds of pears, 38 pounds of peaches, 6 pounds of elderberries, with more elderberries to come in the upcoming week. In addition, I've harvested 78 pounds of vegetables, consisting mainly of tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, squash, zucchini, eggplant, and okra. Most went in the freezer for later processing, which I will focus on during the August challenge. Wonderful. So let's take a look at what she sent. Okay, so Angie's first picture here is 4 quarts of dill pickles, 10 quarts of bread and butter pickles, 5 quarts of balsamic yellow pear and cherry tomatoes. Don't they look great? I think the balsamic cherry tomatoes sound really delicious. I may have to try some of those. Then in her next picture here, she made 7.5 pints of pear cranberry chutney, 5 pints of strawberry lemonade concentrate, and 4 quarts of squash and zucchini. She's been busy, and it sounds like she has a ton more waiting for her in the freezer, so hopefully we'll see more from Angie next week. Okay, this next picture is from Arkansas Squaw. She said she's been covered up in tomatoes. She may not grow as many next year. She had a lot that she intentionally planted, and then it sounds like she had a lot of volunteers as well. So I'm looking at these jars and I'm zooming in on these jars. Those are the most beautiful jars of tomatoes I have ever seen. Look at all those gorgeous colors. I'm just absolutely thrilled with those. I don't know what it is canned on the left. Looks like maybe squash of some sort, but hopefully Arkansas Squaw will chime in and tell us what that is. And then this next picture, I know that she grew yellow brandywine, and I'm assuming that's what that is. Big, giant, beautiful, more than a pound tomato. How lucky is she, right? Okay, on to Brandy. This week, Brandy did baked beans and pulled pork. Brandy works full time. Brandy cans as often as she possibly can, and look at her bounty for this. Thank you, Brandy, again, for sending in your picture. Okay, let's move on to Connie. Connie is a queen of preservation. She does so much work. It's just amazing to me how much she gets done. So here we go. She sent me her first 2 days of the challenge. So let's go through these, and I know you'll be as amazed as I am. So first picture here, we have butter. And then ham and egg hash brown cups for the freezer. She did a tomato-based vegetable soup that looks fantastic, doesn't it? She also did bacon and blueberry pie filling. That also looks divine. And then look at this, hand-milled wheat bread. I assume these are going in the freezer. She also freeze-dried peppers and onions. And then she says, not pictured, were 42 twice-baked potato halves with cheese, butter cubes, and sour cream. Oh my gosh, that sounds terrific. So she was off to do more. That was just her first 2 days. So thank you, Connie, so much for sending those pictures of your first 2 days. I can't wait to see what you managed to do the rest of the week. So I appreciate that, and we'll have more from Connie next week, I hope. All right, on to Danny. Danny has been up to her eyeballs in tomatoes. She now has 60 jars of diced tomatoes on the shelf. I would love to have 60 jars of diced tomatoes on the shelf. I would probably lose my mind before I got there. But Danny did it, and they look absolutely gorgeous, don't they? Also, they had a half a cow, and she made beef stock from the bones. So that is another super addition to her pantry. 2 great basics that are going to carry her through the winter. Okay, we're going to move on to Jane. Now I'm going to apologize first to Jane because I have a Jane number 1 and a Jane number 2, and I apologize for the numbers. I would not have done that. I would have used last name initials, but that didn't help me either because they were both the same. So I'm sorry. But from Jane number 1, she has done several things this week. Let me read you a little note first from her. She says her parents were World War II veterans. Her father served in the Pacific while her mother served as an Army nurse in Africa until she was transferred to Japan. After her parents married in 1947 in Japan, my father's naval career led us to live in places like Japan, Korea, Cyprus, and Morocco in the 50s and 60s. What a fabulous experience that must have been growing up, right? No matter where we lived, my mother always had a garden, and she continues to inspire me today. I marvel at what she was able to accomplish in third world conditions. That gives me chills, absolutely gives me chills. So let's take a look at what Jane has done. She has freeze-dried a bunch of greens and beets, and she'll use those for smoothies. And she has also freeze-dried cukes. Her daughter wants to use those for tzatziki. That sounds really fun to me. She has also prepared tomatoes, onions, zucchini, and zucchini bread for the freezer. It's a beautiful loaf of zucchini bread, isn't it? And then finally, she just got a new Presto electric pressure canner. So she did ham and bean soup, and she's excited to have 4 quarts of that on her shelf for the winter. Thank you so much, Jane. I really appreciate your submissions and the wonderful story. Okay, Jane number 2. Again, I'm sorry to call you number 2, but here we go. Jane has done garlic pucks for the freezer. I need to do these. I hate to peel garlic. I know Becky did these last year, and she loves them. They've served her so well. I need to do them as well. I just don't want to sit down and peel all the garlic, but I need to. So Jane did it. Very proud of you, Jane. Now this next picture, I'd love. She has dehydrated red onions, herbs, and saved some seeds. Those dehydrated red onions, that purple powder there, she's going to turn that into onion salt. Now how badly do I want some purple onion salt right now? I think that is so much fun, and what a great thing to do with it. She's also saved her seeds, and that's something I imagine most of us are doing right now. So make sure you save the ones that you love that have grown well in your garden and tuck them away for next year. And then finally, she did a combination of peach, cherry, and blueberry jam, which just looks absolutely delicious, and that combination sounds great. So thank you, Jane, so much. I look forward to seeing more from you next week, I hope. Okay, Linda. Linda is a new gardener in Canada. She is most proud, she says, of her first try at growing garlic, as you can see it curing here on their patio. But unfortunately, when she went to harvest the garlic, she was stung by a ton of bees. So her husband has now found the nest and gotten rid of that, but she really had to work hard for that garlic. But in the meantime, she has also canned the Asian plum sauce, and those little flowers in the background are from her garden. And she's also done a good job freezing herbs and garlic scapes. So welcome, Linda. I think you're doing a fabulous job in the garden and in the kitchen. Glad to have you here. Lisa is up next. Lisa's mother was Italian. So Lisa, I think, if she will keep sending me pictures, is going to send us some stunning pictures. So let me read you just a little bit here. It says, I work full time, so I only have weekends to work on canning and preserving. I've been working on preserving every weekend for the last 3 weeks and wanted to share this week. She's done bone broth, spaghetti sauce, Italian sausage, and meatballs. And then in this picture here, she made and canned eggplant caponata. Her mother was Italian, and she would make this all the time. Learning to can and preserve this gives her warm memories. I think that's wonderful. I think that's what food ought to be about. So, thank you so much, Lisa, for sharing that. Those jars are absolutely beautiful. I'm not even an eggplant fan, unfortunately, but I might eat that because it's so pretty. So thank you very much. I look forward to more from you next week. Lori is also working full-time, and so she cans every chance she gets. Lori and I have laughed that she really needs more weekend in her week, but unfortunately can't find it. So Lori is busy working on more projects, but she went ahead and sent in one that is just beautiful. This is plum sauce. It has 2 different versions of plum sauce. There's my version of plum sauce with just the plums, and then her mother's version of plum sauce with apricots in it. Wow, what a great combination, right? And so beautiful. So this is a picture of the sauces as they were done. And I know they're brown, but I can't be the only one who finds this deep, rich brown to be absolutely beautiful in a canned item. I think it's gorgeous. It's deep, it's rich, and it looks so tasty. So Lori, thank you so much for sending those in. I can't wait to see what you're doing now. All right, next we have Mary. Mary just did her first batch of my dry canned potatoes, and they looked absolutely stunning, absolutely stunning. And she was like, how long do I have to wait until I can try them? I'm like, do it tonight, go ahead. So they did. So this next picture here is, she made the smashed potatoes that I like so much. They look fantastic. She said they loved them, and she's going to can some more. So Mary, thank you so much for sending that in. Those really, I love those potatoes. Absolutely love them. All right, next one is really fun. This is from Wayne, our only gentleman to participate this week. So all you fellas, if you're out there canning, preserving, freeze drying, whatever it is you're doing, send me pictures. We need some more men in the group. So Wayne took one for the team here. Wayne is hysterical. Wayne has done 4 quarts and 3 pints of zucchini, but I have to read you the little story of how the zucchini came about. He says, this is regular American East Coast zucchini. The 2 large fruits were delivered through family that has 2 older gentlemen gardeners who are careful not to pick anything before it's near the exact ending of its lifespan. So the sore zucchini were of length that stood above the top of a 5-gallon bucket when placed vertically. can just picture this, right? These guys are waiting to pick the biggest zucchini they can grow as their prize to give to Wayne. I think that's hysterical. Anyway, Wayne has a really good time canning. He said, you know, all in all, canning makes for a very good quiet day of therapy. So he's looking forward to doing something else, and I hope we'll get some more pictures from him next week. Anyway, say hey to Wayne in the comments if you see him. Okay, and then the next one is Darla. Darla has been with me for a very long time, Darla. Maybe since the last year's Every Bit Counts challenge. Anyway, Darla is one of my originals, love her to death. Darla also works full-time and then some, and she has kids and grandkids, and she's just a very needy dog. But she still manages to rock it in preservation. So the first one we're going to see here are refrigerator pickles. They look fantastic, don't they? She said she did 3 gallons of them. She also did pickled peppers. And then she also, this one is going to get all you men out there, 4 dozen jalapeno poppers for the freezer. 4 dozen jalapeno poppers. I told her my husband would be right over to get some of those. And 8 pounds of tomatoes. She's also done 24 quarts of dill pickles, 4 quarts and 9 pints of strawberry applesauce. Now that's a beautiful color on that applesauce, isn't it? I would love to have some of that on my shelf. So I may have to work on that maybe next year. Thank you, Darla. So thank you so much to everyone who sent in your pictures and descriptions and all the wonderful stories that I got to read this week. It's so encouraging to me that so much is getting done out there, whether it's because of the challenge or just because of who you are. It's getting done, and it's wonderful, and it's fantastic, and I am so glad to be a part of it. So hopefully we will have another full-packed batch next week. I kind of bet we will. I've already got some coming in, so I'm looking forward to that. And I thank you so much for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you Saturday with some of my preservation projects. Bye-bye.